The following program is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. You can request podcast topics, enjoy exclusive RPG and video content, and more. Even just $1 a month gets you gameplay episodes a week early and makes you officially cool. Just like our Trash Elite, a guy from Ohio, and Rob, DG, Destrucity, KTL, Kitty Holbrook, Drake Starstorm, and Passion Killer 711. Greetings and salutations. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined as always by the boy.
Hello.
This is the Two Nerds Podcast. This week we're talking about AEW at World's End 2025. Last podcast of the year.
Oh, yeah, shit, I suppose it will be. That makes the next few weeks of podcasts very easy.
Yes, we usually record them in advance and enjoy a little time off in January. Plenty more time to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Before we get into what happened at this pay-per-view event for All Elite Wrestling, we have to, contractually obligated, to talk about what's crumping. What has been crumping with you, my guy?
Well, just today, I played some old beat-em-up games with my friend White Raven.
Cool. That's me, for those of you who can't put two and two together.
Had some crimbo time with friends and good times for all.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
And otherwise, just the stuff I've already mentioned.
Yeah. I watched K-pop Demon Hunters and the first Sing movie. First Sing movie was just fine. K-pop Demon Hunters was exceptional. I'm sure we'll talk about that more in our movie homework here in review. And I think I mostly just had like a running crisis in my brain. I think those are the things I did.
There we go.
I also played video games with my friend. This guy's name is The Boy. My friend is not White Raven. I don't like that guy. And I also had holiday events with friends and family. It was pretty nice. Full week, though. Full week of holiday stuff. And I'm not going to tell you about my family life, so that makes crumping short.
So let's get right into it.
Let's get into it. Look at that. Look how fast. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, probably with the intro, you're going to be looking at about 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Timestamp guy?
Timestamp guy, if you come back, you'll know better than we will.
Yeah, we miss you, timestamp guy. We didn't watch the pre-show. The week was tight with stuff. Sisters of Sin beat Hyun and Maya World by pinfall.
Good for them.
Eddie Kingston beat Zach Gibson, who is one half of the Grizzled Young Veterans. Ortiz came back to help him because James Drake was being a pain in the ass.
Good for them.
So that's interesting. Máscara Dorada and Bandido beat Don Callis' family, consisting of Mark Davis and Rocky Romero. I bet that was pretty fun to watch. I really like this incarnation of Máscara Dorada, and Bandido away from Brody is good. And then Jet Speed and Jurassic Express defeated Josh Alexander and The Demand. That was also probably pretty good. Again, good for Jet Speed getting a win, even if Jurassic Express helped them along. Actually, they've been treating Jet Speed pretty good in the Continental Classic.
Yeah, Jet Speed did well.
On to the main card. I never know how much time to take on each individual thing. Sometimes it feels like we're speeding through it, and other times it's been 45 minutes, and I'm like, geez, we got 3 matches to go.
Yep. I feel the exact same way.
So we started out with the semifinal, one of the two semifinals of the Continental Classic, which was Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada.
What honestly should have been the finals. I'm going to be honest. It's the most obvious thing to have built up to, but okay.
This match never got into third gear, despite being 17 and a half minutes long.
No, this was clearly the first of a series of matches Takeshita and Okada are going to have as Takeshita turns face and leaves the Don Callis family.
Okada won thanks to using a screwdriver that Callis had secreted in the turnbuckle.
Which it comes up again later, hilariously enough.
Yeah.
This match never got to third gear. It was fine, but like it's clearly the first in a series of matches and probably one of the only ones that's going to happen in AEW. So that was kind of deflating, because this build has been really fun and cool, and being told almost directly I'm not going to get to see the end of it because I don't watch New Japan is a little annoying.
I'm sure they'll finish off the actual feud in AEW, even if parts of it happen in New Japan. Our next match was Kyle Fletcher against Mox. This is where the Screwdriver came back. A 20-minute match. This one was pretty decent. I don't care about either of these wrestlers, so I had a hard time being bought in, but game recognized game. This was a well-wrestled contest.
Kyle Fletcher, turns out, was the one who the Screwdriver was intended for, and Okada also fucked him over. Very efficient, fucking over his allies.
Yeah.
Jon Moxley should have lost this match. He should have lost this match. His fellow Death Riders should have killed them. Yes, it's what the whole internet assumed was going to be happening. But sometimes, Stephanie McMahon, that's good.
I don't know that it is what the whole internet assumed was going to be happening, but we'll get to that in a bit. I guess Fletcher barely escaped injury. He got dropped on his head pretty hard at some point, but he's okay.
Jon Moxley didn't. He lost a bit of a tooth.
Sure did, on a stupid pratfall. Yeah, I don't. Anyway, pretty fun Chicago street fight between the Bang Bang Gang and FTR, except for the fact that Austin Gunn was largely taking a nap. I hope he's okay. You have more to say about this match than I do.
If Austin Gunn is injured, then they did the best they could with what they had. No hate. If Austin Gunn is not injured, this is the most severe hoeing I've seen of an AEW wrestler since Private Party a few years ago. Got completely Lil Bro'd. Like, Austin got buried so thoroughly in this fucking match. He did not get one standout piece of offense. He fucked up every single thing he tried. And Juice basically had a fucking handicap match against FTR and nearly won it. It makes Juice look really cool, but it makes Austin Gunn look like a fucking loser who doesn't belong here. Don't do that.
Austin is, in Journey of Wrestling speak, a 2-star wrestler. Always has been, as long as I've been watching him. Same for his brother. They have good matches. They have rough matches. This was the rough kind. And I don't know if just not having his brother around deflated his chemistry. I'm not sure, but it wasn't a great showing. The match itself was fun. Titles on the line, Chicago street fight, which was a non-falls count anywhere style hardcore match. They could do whatever, no holds barred, no DQ, but the action had to finish in the ring. They were in Chicago for this. You can see the horrifying visage of the Bean behind all the wrestlers on the title card in front of you guys right now, which I thought was humorous that they included the Bean. There's a baby Bean now. Have you heard?
Good.
The Bean is breeding.
I hope it consumes us all.
I don't. I want to be consumed by Vanta Black.
Fair enough.
Yeah. A Vanta Black Bean? That's fine.
Anish Kapoor's vengeance against us all.
Next match was solid. I think this also never really got to third gear. Babes of Wrath against Mercedes Moné and Athena for the women's tag team championships.
This was fun.
You voiced a concern I've had for a little while about Athena for this one.
Oh, yeah. I love Athena. I loved Ember Moon back in the day. Athena's great. She's very charming. She's got really good mic skills. She's got a great look. I'm concerned she's washed. Because every time I see her wrestle, she's bringing the room down.
Yeah. And this is in a match that included Harley Cameron, who is still green enough that you can notice. I love Harley. I love Willow. I'm glad they won here. I'm glad Mercedes had a fun crash out promo afterward where she screamed and tore apart her locker room and then conducted an interview like nothing had happened. That was pretty fun. It's fun to watch her.
Mercedes Moné doing good work.
Yeah, it's fun to watch her fall from grace.
She's the Sports Illustrated Female Wrestler of the Year, after all.
I have heard some conflicting. Apparently, all that doesn't matter and it shouldn't count for some reason, and I don't fully understand that.
Oh, I don't care at all.
Okay.
I was just pointing it out because they pointed out on the show. The only Wrestler of the Year I care about is the Two Nerds Wrestler of the Year. You're going to get that in a podcast real soon.
Yeah. Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd, which had a tangential build. Darby got a little injured, had to miss the rest of the build, and then Gabe Kidd threw him down some stairs.
Like, I don't give a shit about Gabe Kidd, but the people in the Discord who do watch New Japan assure us that Gabe Kidd is cool.
This is the first match I've seen where Gabe Kidd has lived up to the hype.
Yes, this was a really... If I gave a shit about Gabe Kidd, this might have ended up being my match of the night. This was really well wrestled.
During this pay-per-view, found myself with a wealth of shit to give suddenly. And I'm going to give at least some of it to Gabe Kidd.
He earned something.
Yeah, he's earned some of it.
I agree. This was cool enough that I care more about you going forward.
He hit hard. He leathered the fuck out of Darby. It was really cool to watch. Darby, of course, scored the victory. I don't even remember how. It's been several days. The Saturday pay-per-views are rough.
Yeah, because we got shit to do, guys.
We forget, you know? Well, after all that wrestling, it's hard to just go and record a podcast. But you're not coming here for news. You're coming here for our opinions. And my opinion, I like Darby Allin's new birds on his Trons.
Yeah, he inherited the ravens from...
He had a little intro video where a rabbit was rotting from the inside and bloating in the sun.
Hey, don't do that.
None of the gratuitous stuff was shown, so...
I still know what that is.
Yeah.
Fucking don't do that.
That was weird. I'm sure it meant something.
I'm sure it did. I'm sure it was like a cool reference or something from his, personal art. I don't care. Gross.
Yeah, I like bunnies. I don't want to see them rotting. So there we go. A sensational contest.
The Mixed Nuts Mayhem match.
Yeah, might have been the match of the night, I think.
The main event was really good.
Main event was really good.
I think if it's not the main event, then it is this match.
The Death Riders, this contingent being Claudio, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, and Marina Shafir, against Timeless Toni Storm, Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy. This was an intergender brawl. It was really good. It was really fun. A lot of great spots. A lot of great backbreakers. Relationships were forged. Relationships were broken. It had everything packed into less than 13 minutes. It was a lot.
Roddy gave his wife back shots live on screen.
Yeah, it was incredible. Toni Storm swung Orange Cassidy around. Claudio Castagnoli swung Toni Storm around. All kinds of shit happened. This was a really, really fun watch and really perked up what had thus far been a very underwhelming pay-per-view. I was excited for this going in. We didn't mention this at the top of the show. We usually do a spoiler-free review too. I guess go fuck yourself. But I don't mean that. We love you. I mean that in the same way Ron Burgundy does. The boy put that on the teleprompter in front of me, and I read out loud everything I see. So, yeah, I was actually kind of hyped, mostly because of the main event. I think the main event had so much potential, and I thought it was really good intersection of storytelling. There were a couple of things that were fumbled in the build up to this main event, and I don't just mean the last month. But what they had put together, including MJF's return and Swerve's return, really made me excited for what might happen. And honestly, I don't think there was a wrong choice for the winner. I think there were better choices for winner, but enough about the main event. This recovered what was a really disappointing pay-per-view.
So far, like, nothing egregious, except for the Mox winning the match against Kyle Fletcher. That was egregious. We'll get into that later. But aside from that, nothing really ridiculous I disagreed with booking-wise. Just underwhelming.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff that just didn't quite hit. The match didn't come together in the right way. I really liked Takeshita versus Okada, but like I said, it never hit third gear, and we sat there for 17 and a half minutes of it. That's kind of underwhelming, you know? But this brought it home. The Mixed Nuts Mayhem, as much as I balked at it being on the card, because what does it matter? What does it mean? It was a lot of really good wrestlers. 8 really good wrestlers.
It means good times for all.
Yeah. I do need to comment Marina Shafir can wrestle now.
Yay!
Yeah.
Marina Shafir, you finally just a good wrestler.
Yep, I can just enjoy the shit out of her, and I do.
Because she's cool as hell.
Pending stuff. This incarnation of the Death Riders, the Claudio, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, Marina Shafir version, very compelling. I like them. I like their dynamic. I think they're interesting.
They're bad guys, but they're still friends. I like that. Next
up is our women's championship match. Jamie Hayter looking to reclaim her title from Kris Statlander. She's referencing the alien stuff again, which I like, but I don't think she thinks she's an alien anymore.
Her gimmick is I change gimmicks a lot. Deal with it.
I don't even know that it's change. I think that I really think that it's reference. I feel like...
Was it evolution, always evolving, ever changing?
Yeah.
That's her gimmick.
I suppose. I don't know. Maybe there's like a through line that I don't understand. I'm often told there's a through line in AEW I don't understand. Sometimes I'm being told wrong. I understand what's going on and it's stupid. This is not one of those cases, probably. This match was really slow for a lot of it. This was the action was better, but it reminded me of the pacing of a high-stakes WWE match. Someone hits a move, we wait a little bit. Someone hits another move, we wait a little bit. And that happened a lot in this show, actually, except for the Mixed Nuts match. It just was really deliberate in its pacing. And then it would kick up, like, right at the last minute. Not my thing, not my preference. I like a match that builds, but I prefer there to be more going on through the course of the contest. Nothing really wrong with the wrestling other than Kris Statlander still not knowing how to hit her own finisher.
Well, it's not stops other people from being able to be at the top of the card. I don't see why it'd stop her.
Yeah, why would it? But yeah, she scored a victory over Jamie Hayter. I feel like that was fine.
All right, so stats, this build was not great. I'm going to be honest. Jamie Hayter explicitly deciding to work heel. Well, I guess not explicitly. She didn't say it. But inexplicably deciding to work heel. When this could have easily just been a face v face match. It made the build seem insane.
I think it was face v face, but they're not friends. You know what I mean? Like, it's not what we experienced in the build between Swerve and Hangman, where they're like, we're buddies, but I will fight you when the time comes. This was more, hi, I'm polite, I will fuck you up. I don't care who you are. I agree with you that Jamie gave a little more of that I will fuck you up vibe, was a little more nefarious, but full heel, I'm not 100% sure if that clicked.
And the match itself was wrestled fine. Nothing to write home about, nothing super astounding.
No.
But I enjoyed it quite a bit, possibly because I was coming off of the Mixed Nuts match, which was a funky, fresh, good time. But it didn't thrill me, but it was perfectly serviceable wrestling.
It was indeed serviceable.
So, I meant to say, Kris Statlander has an amazing title run on paper. Like, if you look at just on paper who she's defeated, who she's defended, and who she won the title from, she's got an incredibly dominant run against the top people in the industry. Here's the thing, though. It doesn't feel like it.
I blame this in part on Toni Storm being the previous champion. Everything Toni did was so over the top. Toni's an amazing promo, so she could make the most dog shit opponent feel like they mattered. Cough, Megan Bayne, cough. That's rude. Megan Bayne is just an underwhelming opponent. She's a fine wrestler and a decent promo at this point. But it's, comparatively speaking, it's not Toni. Toni is too good. Now we have to reset, unfortunately.
That is true. And she's doing a great job on paper and in the ring. And she's more compelling now that she's acknowledged the big show of it all, for me. I don't know. Hanging a lampshade on it makes it work somehow.
Sure. Yeah, I would kind of...
I am literally just stalling to avoid having to talk about the next match. I'm so upset. I'm so fucking upset, you guys.
So things I am not upset about in the finals of the Continental Classic between Kazuchika Okada and Jon Moxley. in a vacuum where this doesn't mean anything, even with the title on the line, I don't mind Jon Moxley winning. It's not my favorite thing, but we shot anything really interesting in the foot during the semifinals.
Yep. We shot the interesting finals in the foot during the semifinals.
I think Okada versus Fletcher would have been interesting. I think Takeshita versus Fletcher would have been interesting. I think Takeshita versus Mox would have been interesting. Less so with this outcome. I would have rather seen Takeshita win in that scenario. But then again, it also does give him a really big rub to have made it to the finals. Really, all of the other options were more interesting. And this is cool for people who are big New Japan fans. I'm not. You know, these are two titans from New Japan who I guess have never wrestled.
Which is interesting.
That is noteworthy. I don't care. And also, there's been a thing I was told was happening, but I refused to believe until this match. The fans decided Jon Moxley is a babyface.
They did not consult Jon, who was clearly telling a different story. They did not consult Tony Khan. They did not consult any logic. They just simply decided, you've been around long enough in this gimmick, and your faction is really cool and good at aura farming. And you're not the champion anymore, so we don't have to deal with you carrying around the briefcase. So we just like you again now. You haven't killed anyone we've loved in too long.
On paper, I kind of get it. You know, I can see the notes there, but I wasn't following along like that. It didn't look like that's what was going on. So what happened to Mox is he had a bunch of losses. He bled a bunch of heat to other talent.
Yes.
Younger talent, less over talent.
Like, he lost multiple times. He tapped out multiple times. He was bleeding heat as a part of what I trusted was good storytelling. But then the fans were like, we could cheer you. And so they pivoted. I'm not going to blame who is responsible for that pivot. But about halfway through the Continental Classic, hindsight now makes clear, they pivoted to Jon Moxley babyface turn. He started cutting more babyface promos. He started cutting promos about how the Continental Classic had reignited the fire in his belly and he was determined to give it his all. And
which to us, paired with his losing streak, sounded more like copium. Like Mox was trying to say, no, I still got it. It's fine. I got this. While his team was circling him like hungry jackals.
Which was the story that would make sense and would be good storytelling. Him randomly turning face after doing, basically not changing as a person at all.
No, just not doing active murder. It wasn't that long ago that they mobbed the ring, though.
Like, all he's done in the Continental Classic to get everyone to like him again is the Continental Classic rules prevent him from doing the bloodline. That's all the fans ever wanted from Jon Moxley. Just wrestle your own matches, please.
I don't like babyface Jon Moxley. I don't believe him. I don't support him. I think he's a douchebag. I'm not that guy. I know who that guy is that likes babyface Jon Moxley. That's not who I am. And there's nothing wrong with that guy. He's just not me. So I don't want this. I haven't been thirsting for it. In fact, this is colossally disappointing.
I'm upset because, look, some people online in the wake of this lol Mox's face again now deal with it result have been talking about how people on the internet need to stop fantasy booking and then getting upset when the booking doesn't match their fantasy booking. Hey, quick note, go fuck yourself. I'm not fantasy booking when the thing that's happening on my screen is incredibly obviously foreshadowing something only to change it at the last minute. We have a term for that in wrestling. It's not a term of endearment.
I feel like this was, and I could be wrong, I feel like this was a late pivot because he won Wrestler of the Year with Sports Illustrated.
I think it probably happened a little before that, but like possibly in the, hey, Scuttle Buddies, you're going to win Wrestler of the Year.
Right. And so they wanted to put their, a big strap on their big wrestler winner guy.
And Tony Khan has 47 championships in his back pocket at any given moment. So
that's another stupid thing about this title thing. Now,
they should have just won the Unified Championship.
Yeah, because now he still has the Interdependent Championship.
Kazuchika Okada is the International Champion. He was the Unified Champion. The Continental Championship was on the line during the Continental Classic. So now Jon Moxley is the Continental Champion. Okada is the International Champion. And Ricochet is the National Champion.
That's too much. You fucked it up. You fucked it up. It made sense a little more when you were trying to have a second top title in the Unified Championship. I didn't like it, but at least it made sense.
The National and International Championships will soon do a fusion dance to become
the International National Championship. National International Championship. National Inter Championship.
And then they will split it out. They will split up again and fuse with the world title in 3 years.
This is not good title management.
This is bad. This is what Journey of Wrestling does when you leave its CPU alone.
Yeah, they do some crazy shit like that. A lot of auto bookers will do nut bars stuff like that. On top of not liking it, this feels like such a gut punch because I have consistently, by the storytelling, been led to believe, as you were alluding to, that there was going to be some momentous event with Mox and the Death Riders, whether they ate him, whether he left and they were left in the wind. I didn't have a specific thing I wanted. I just thought that story was going to have another
conclusion.
Even if it wasn't a conclusion, another twist. This isn't a twist. And maybe a twist is coming, but this isn't it. And the Death Riders came to the ring and gave him big hugs afterwards. So what does that mean? Are they baby faces now?
Yeah, they're just baby faces now.
Well, then what happened in the match that happened earlier, where it was the faces versus the heels? How is Marina Shafir going to be a baby face? It's just so many questions.
Fans of Violent Profiles might expect Shrugging Man to show up.
Yeah, Shrugging Man, our dear beloved friend. I have so many Shrugging Mans about this.
It's just not... I'm not mad that my fantasy booking didn't go through. I'm mad that you foreshadowed and told a story that you pussied out from the end of. Those aren't the same things, and I resent the implication that they are.
I don't go on social media like that, so I've not seen these accusations. But I think it also hurts, and I've been saying this through the whole Death Rider storyline. They're not giving us much information on this faction. The thing the announcers are supposed to do, and sometimes I do miss this, but I don't notice, that is to say. I'm sorry, I'm having fun during the show and not analyzing every bit of dialogue. The announcers are supposed to tell us stuff. I went so long not really knowing what the Death Riders' point was, what their goal was. They said they were going to get rid of the bad wrestlers, but they never really outlined who those wrestlers were. And now, during the latter parts of Mox's championship run, there was a lot of stuff that was never said. What are we leading toward? What is the point here? And then after he lost the title, all the stuff going on with the Death Riders. What is happening?
Why is it happening? Why is it still on my screen? Why are you choosing to use screen time for this?
Why are you dragging out multiple defenses with Mox? What's the whole thing with Darby Allin for? I don't fully get it.
Because the Death Riders went from, you don't deserve to see the World Championship, you haven't earned it. Everyone on this roster except for us are complete losers who don't want to work. Nobody wants to work anymore. And we're the grind set. We are the people who will change things by being hard men, making hard decisions while hard as possible. And now their story is, this title is for you. This is for everybody in the back who works so hard. This title is for the fans. And what changed? Jon Moxley got his ass beat enough that I guess the AEW roster just beat some sense into him, is the story.
Maybe. I don't feel like we're going to get an actual story beat.
His crew of his murderer's row of jackals he accumulated are just like, oh, we're good guys now? Okay.
There's no catalyst. It's not... Okay, so like in storytelling, for this sort of change to happen, not even just wrestling storytelling, in storytelling, something has to occur.
Jon Moxley lost a couple matches.
Like probably 5, but like he didn't change at all until halfway through the Continental Classic.
Yep.
And even then, the change was so imperceptible that you and I, very media literate people, didn't really notice. Thought it was a different thing. That's not a strong enough catalyst to, like Knights of the Old Republic 2, turn his entire crew babyface through sheer force of will. Something has to happen. Or at least it's way more fucking interesting if it is, unless you, like a lot of the public, are just so ready to cheer for Jon Moxley that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was nothing. It doesn't matter if it was bad storytelling. It doesn't matter if it was kind of random and thrown into the last minute. You got what you wanted. Fuck the rest. I use this as a segue into our main event. MJF is once again your AEW Men's World Champion. And I was able to end this pay-per-view with a smile on my face.
So, the main event, ladies and gentlemen, there was no good call here. There was no bad call here due to the situation with Samoa Joe needing to be champion because he's Sweet Tooth the Clown. They've fucked it to the point that all the options going into this match were equally dumb.
So, I think retroactively, this makes sense. I like that Samoa Joe was the champ when MJF won, because it means he didn't beat Hanger. And that leaves options open for continued feuds.
Possibly. There was speculation in the Discord that there's just some backstage heat between Hanger and MJF, and Hanger just didn't want to drop the title from him. I don't think that's true.
Doesn't seem likely, but
just because
everybody backstage says MJF is the nicest guy in the world.
And everyone backstage says Hanger is a prince. So, no, that's probably unlikely. But, like, I wanted all these options, for me personally, and I can see your point of view, but for me, all these options were dumb because they fucked it. So the natural storytelling rhythm that would have led us up to Hanger being the champion at this title, at this show, and then getting it swooped off him by MJF, that natural storytelling rhythm was fucked. But that was true of everybody in the match. No, there was no good option. So if I'm gonna have a dumb option, if I must, because there's no good one, I want to have a dumb option that's fun. And MJF is the funnest of these dumb options.
I see this as one of the best fumble recoveries AEW has done in years. I would agree with you that they screwed a lot of things up, or at least it appeared as though they were screwing a lot of things up that may have been in preparation for this match specifically. I don't know that I would have necessarily done this. However, the last time I really had a great time in AEW was the show where MJF lost his title.
Yeah, MJF being champ, the return of the big Burberry belt bodes well for AEW. The generational talent is back on top. And notably, this was a well-wrestled match that had a lot of fun spots, and nobody came away looking buried.
No, the ring psychology in this was so tight. I called the shot of what was going to happen, is they all kept battering MJF, taking time out to knock the piss out of him every chance they got. Eyes in the back of the head, deleting him and noticing. And I was like, the one time they don't,
he's going to win.
He's going to win. He's going to steal it from all of them. And he did. Canny, nasty little man that he is. And I think it's good. I think this is good going forward. I think MJF is the perfect heel champ, the perfect type of heel champ, where he is lovable and a bastard.
Yeah.
Because when you get the oppressive heel champ, it's just tiresome. Like Moxley, it gets tiresome so fast. When you have the babyface champ that doesn't have a lot of edge to him, it's a little boring. Like, it just becomes I'll defend my title against anyone. Why did I put on half a John Cena voice? You think about it.
Edgy face and shitbag heel who is still charming are the two top options.
I think I prefer charming shitbag heel between the two of those, but I would agree with you. Those are really your best possibilities. Or face who's having a great fucking time and now you can't stop him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which I think is Toni Storm. I think Toni Storm was having an incredible time And now I get to take up a good solid 5 to 10 minutes of TV every week just saying sex puns. I think this was a crap pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, on balance, it was shit. On balance, this was a shitty show. This was not great. This was a 2-star event for an AEW pay-per-view. We're grading on a curve here. This was better than every WWE PLE that's happened in the last 6 years.
Certainly the ones I've watched, anyway.
I'm comfortable saying all of them. Come at me. You're wrong. But for an AEW show, this was sub-mid.
Yeah.
But the standout matches were so fun, I walked away pretty happy.
And the storytelling has been better enough as of late that I have been enjoying wrestling in an intrinsic way for, I think, the last month or two. Not a lot, but it is there and it has been absent. So hopefully this is a good sign of things to come. Hopefully all of these resets will, out of the tournament season, move us into something interesting.
I'm hopeful that I'm hopeful I can still like the Death Riders because they are the kings of aura farming. I'm mad about that Jon Moxley thing, but at the end of the day, the devil gets his due.